Hey friends, it's your favorite witch Amit with readings, Reiki, and wellness at Healing is Limitless. Welcome back to Witchcraft Wednesdays. Today we are going to try to change some minds and debunk negative myths and stereotypes about witches and witchcraft. Now please have your minds and your hearts open. I could go down an absolute black hole about stereotypes and myth conceptions, but I'm going to try and keep it as concise as possible. I've quoted The Craft before, one of my favorite witch movies, in a previous post, and I'm going to do it again now. The Craft says, "True magic is neither black nor white. It's both because nature is both. Loving and cruel all at the same time. The only good or bad is in the heart of the witch. Life keeps a balance on its own." Now that is the solid truth about anything you put into the universe, whether it's a prayer, a spell, an intention. A witch's magic comes from nature, therefore we are bound by the laws of nature. There are witches out there with ill intentions, I'm not dismissing that at all, but there are people with ill intentions from all walks of life, not just witches. The energy of the universe is neutral. It's up to you to decide what to do with that energy if you so choose to utilize it. Now, one topic that really hits home for me is black magic. No, I'm not talking about ill-willed curses and hexes yet. I'm talking about magic harnessed and utilized by BIPOC, Black Indigenous People of Color, for BIPOC practitioners. Even in the spiritual community, I've had to debunk this for people. When you hear the terms voodoo, Santeria, obia, there's an immediate hush that falls over the room. Now, I can talk about this forever, but here are the basics. Voodoo, Santeria, obia in particular, are all religions that encompass magical practices. They are all based around the healing and the benefit of others, as well as ancestor worship. The reason the term black magic hits a sour note for me when talking about hexing or cursing is that there's a connotation that groups BIPOC magic in with that and implies that white magic, European styles of magic, is more pure and godlier than black magic. Now that's part of a bigger conversation, but please don't believe everything you see in movies about voodoo in particular. It's a sacred religion with various beautiful traditions, whether it's practiced in West Africa, Haiti, New Orleans, or anywhere else. These religions are still seen as primitive, which is wild considering religious practices that developed after and later on in time are all an amalgamation of what was cherry-picked from these older folk religions. Food for thought. Now, hexes and curses. Yes, they exist. There's no denying that. For some witches, particularly Wiccans, they follow the rule of 3, which states that whatever you put into the universe comes back to you 3 times. Sound familiar? Similar to the Western notion of karma, it's not only a cautionary philosophy, but one of hope for those who choose to put out positivity and reaping the benefits that are returned. There's also the Wiccan Rede, and ye harm none, do as ye will. It's the golden rule for Wiccans. Now, there are witches who completely disregard those rules or find no belief in them, and that's completely fine. There's no judgment here. That being said, personally, I keep myself above lower vibrations and focus on what I put out in a positive light. Cursing and hexing someone is the same as wishing ill will upon them. The same energy gets put out, whether it manifests into something or not. Can you think of the last time you hoped something unsavory would happen to someone? I mean, we've all done it. We're all human. No school of thought is perfect. It's really what you make of it. There are good and bad people everywhere. It's what you decide to do with what you're given that defines who you are. Now, this doesn't even begin to touch the ethics and stereotypes of magic, but the best advice I can give you is to follow your heart. Your heart and your spirit will resonate to what's right for you, and that's the path you should follow, and don't believe everything you hear. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post them below or message me directly, and I'd be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you guys again for being open to changing your perspectives and allowing me to help grow your wellness. Is there anything that you learned or would like to know more of? Let me know. Love and light. Bye, guys.